The theatre's had a history of doing Dickens adaptations. We've done several of them over the years and they've always been incredibly popular. And we chose Great Expectations this year because it's the 200th anniversary of the birth of Charles Dickens, so we thought it was an appropriate play to do. We did Tale of Two Cities about 10 years ago, so that was really the rationale behind it. Dickens is a fabulous writer because he also wrote occasionally for the stage, and all of his characters are very richly drawn. So when we were looking at adapting it for the stage, we tried to make the characterisation probably the key element of it, to get those very richly drawn characters. There are several other existing adaptations, hundreds actually, so the decision to do our own we didn't take lightly. There's one that's performed a lot that sort of has a Greek chorus which provides a lot of the background to the feelings and things that the characters have. We're not doing that. We've basically taken that sort of narrative voice out of it, and we did that on purpose in some ways because it is a dramatic piece. When you're reading a book, you don't have the actors actually appearing in front of you. You don't see their emotions on their faces. You don't see all those sorts of things. So in adapting it, what I tried to do was make it a dramatic piece. So for that reason, while we don't have a person pop up and say Pip was feeling such and such at this time, hopefully the fact that the character is on the stage in front of the audience will be enough to get that across. So whatever we lose in that narrative, or the narrative structure of the book, hopefully we make up with the characterisation. And people can always go back and read the book afterwards, which I would recommend that they do anyway, to fill in any gaps that we may have left. I think Dickens is fairly universal. I was actually just talking to one cast member about it, and he said he felt it's as relevant now that the idea that Pip has of a greater happiness that he's going to achieve by being a gentleman, by having a lot of money, largely so he can get a Stella, is still something that people in reality shows everywhere sort of pursue, this idea of changing their lives, becoming wealthier, and that everything was somehow going to be better and different. And I think the story is really of how Pip comes to realise that it's not really how much wealth he has that affects the sort of person that he is, or the degree of happiness and satisfaction that he has with his life. So I think that's probably one of the key things. It is a universal story, and it's a very moving story about, particularly through the character of Joe, who's always there for Pip, even though Pip treats him quite badly. There's still that fundamental unconditional love, and it's a really touching piece, and of course it's full of the most wonderful characters.